Welcome to a new episode of my podcast, Naked Woman. Today I am so excited because we are drinking cacao from Venezuela and I am with a Venezuelan woman, Natalia.
Thank you. This is so amazing. Thank you very much for having me. This is a great opportunity just to have a chat and explore our journey, really. So I'm very excited.
Do you drink cacao in your life?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I drink cacao. I can't really say this every day because it's a quite powerful drink for me. But as part of my almost daily routine, yes, I do drink cacao. It grounds me. It really connects me. Helps me really to start my day with energy and and passion, and that's what I need really, especially at this chapter of my life, really.
I want to say that our sponsor is Amazonic Cacao. So thanks so much for being part of this journey with me. When you buy in Amazonic Cacao, you are supporting a female founder here in the UK. And you are supporting Venezuela. Today is a special podcast because we are gonna talk about workplaces and the importance of humanizing workplaces. And I am today with Natalia, business transformation lead, a system thinker, a former head of system engineer, a woman in a male-dominant field, a Latina with a Spanish accent. She's from Venezuela, so I feel like home today. It's amazing. And a full-time single mom of two incredible boys. That is already a lot, Natalia. I haven't even mentioned her passion for dancing.
Oh yes, in the kitchen.
And but not in the kitchen. You love dancing. She really do performance. So it's a good presentation, or do you want to mention something else? And she is creating something that is gonna be quite big for workplaces, and it's called...
Yes, it's called Humanizing Our Workplace. Well, thank you again. I mean, yes, this is we're all layers, right? So I'm a woman. I'm a very proud Latina. I'm also Spanish. I am a mom. I'm a friend. I'm a humanist. I'm an integral human being. I'm very proud of it. So yeah, you got it quite right, really.
Welcome. And well, Natalia, I want to start to ask you a few questions. I have been reading a lot your articles. I have been research about your work, and I have the opportunity to know you more and more and more. You have a passion for humanizing workplaces, but you come from an engineer background. I am curious about where does the passion come from? Would you mind sharing what your dream was as a child?
The thing is, I never dreamt of becoming an engineer. Okay, this is just I still cannot believe that I am an engineer. When I was a child, all what I wanted to be was a writer. I wanted to study philosophy. I know. I wanted to study philosophy, and I even wanted to become the president of my country, Venezuela. And then I do have notes that testimony that desire of being a writer, being the president of my country, my notebooks when I was 7-year-old little girl. So I have a lot of notebooks because, again, I like writing. And all these notebooks is full of dreams and ideas of how we can make the world better. So it was just, I was very curious. I was just trying to figure out life and somehow just put it in these notebooks full of colors and dreams, really. In many ways, my passion for humanizing our workplaces has always been there, really. I just didn't have the words, really, just to put it all together, I guess. I was always drawn by structures, by systems, by processes, really. I'm very structured in my thinking. but I'm also very creative. And I was also drawn by humanity, about people, about connection, communities. So it's amazing that these two worlds came together, because this project that I am embarking at the moment is so exciting, really. It's beautiful. This project of humanizing our workplaces just allows me just to bring all these different layers that I was just telling you about, to bring the mindset of an engineer, my humanistic heart, but also the clarity of a strategist. So I'm very much looking forward to it. And everything really started when I was 7 years old or 8 years old, little girl. And look at this journey of discovery that I'm doing so far.
It means you are giving a space to that inner child of you.
This concept of inner child is relatively new to me. Okay. When I say new to me, it's a few years ago. It's not something like, oh, your inner child. Like, what is that? How do you eat that? These concepts. And then I always longed, I guess, for what I liked when I was a child, which was, again, writing and asking questions and being curious, almost interviewing people, talking. I did a lot of poetry. I was, since I was 6 or 7 years old, I was just up, in big auditoriums, just telling, reciting my poetry. So, but life, with all the turns and junctions, take us to a different path. And you almost forget what you liked when you were a child. It's just, oh yes, I like that, but it's okay. I am now an engineer, right? I'm a technical director, or I'm doing this. And then you put all these badges of honor, like you feel really proud. But it's only when you are in a junction of change, because we all have to change. We all evolve as human beings, right? So in this junction, you ask the question of, okay, what is it that you like to do now? What is this satisfying for you? Is something that you like doing? And then the concept of inner child, just to say, to go back and almost kind of like remember that child, looking at the child's eye to say, hey, you know what? Everything is going to be okay. Look at me. We're doing great. Yeah. And almost asking her as well. Yeah. What are you doing? What is it that you used to like? Exactly. So how can you start incorporating these elements that you loved and you long when you were a child?
I think this will be very inspiring for so many people who are listening to us, because I think so many people lost, even me in my own process, I lost, do I like what I like? And this is what made me to become a life coach and a women's circle facilitator So what was your last position as a working in the engineering industry? So I would like that people really understand what is your background.
I studied business administration back home in my home country, Venezuela. Okay, so that idea that I wanted to become a writer, kind of like I didn't. It was paused for a while, although I kept writing certain articles and certain things. So I studied business administration, and about 23 years ago, I left my home country for England, which is a country that has given me a huge amount of opportunity, and I'm always going to be very grateful. And I started...
We love England.
We do.
We love England.
Absolutely. It's such an amazing country. Full of opportunities, exactly. So when I left, back home when I was studying business, I was working in a small and medium-sized enterprise in a manufacturing company. And then I was just sent to the administration area. But I was more drawn into what was happening in the workshop. What was happening when we're building the product, when we're building this, all the different pieces and parts for Toyota, for Chrysler, for General Motors. I mean, like, I really want to be part of it. But of course, I was very young. I was in my early 20s, and I was the only girl as well. But I was very much into that world, and that the company gave me the opportunity to move from the administration more to the engineering side, to the continuous improvement. And that little company became the first small and medium-sized enterprise in Venezuela who got the ISO 9000. ISO 9000 that certified the company for a quality control. It was massive. It was really the very first SME in Venezuela who got it. And then that was all my project. It was all down to me. So, I mean, this was one of the proudest moment of my life, really. So I became like a mini celebrity in my country. So, wow, how did you do it? I mean, you're so young. And I just... I was in my 20s, my 19, 20, but 2021 was really. And I remember I self-taught myself, with different Japanese techniques for process improvement. So after that, I decided, right, I just would like to move on and go to different, explore other opportunities. I really would like to learn English. And I came to the UK. I came to the UK with a mindset of, right, Natalia, you're going to learn English and you're going to do this master's degree in Warwick University. And then I did that. And that was just the journey at the beginning, as an immigrant is tough. But I finished my master's, I started working, and then I became a chartered engineer years later. But I still write, and very much. I still have my journals and and write my articles, just trying to keep that inner child life.
And you have been in big projects here in terms of the underground, no? Isn't it? Which one has been your biggest project here in England?
Oh, the project that I have
it's so
in mind.
For me, because many women will be so exciting to know what have you been working as an engineer. In my women's circle come women who are engineers. So
in terms of biggest, I don't know, because I worked in big infrastructure projects. The work that I do is on the systems engineering and systems integration. I just integrate many disciplines and make sure that we are all in one page, I would say. And then I apply what we call system thinking. So that capacity to see the whole project. I'm talking about hundreds of people, a lot of different companies, a lot of different stakeholders, all working together for one purpose. So I work in this massive mega projects, or infrastructure mega projects. But the one that I have to, that I remember with a lot of, a lot of heart in my, a lot of emotion is definitely Terminal 5, Heathrow Terminal 5. It was just to see the ground, nothing really in this, us start digging the tunnels to extend Piccadilly Line and Heathrow Express, building the station and all the complexity. I don't think that the member of the public has any idea what is in the background of building this mega project. Is absolutely fascinating. I can't really tell you how excited I am with those projects.
Well, I think people can notice that excitement in terms of the way how you talk. So it's amazing. I wonder how many women in your team. You were the only one in the room?
Well, I have been the only woman in the room more time than I can count, really. And that you just normalize it. You just it's part of the organizational landscape that you are sat down with 40 different guys, it's a male-dominated industry. But about 8% of us are women, or maybe 10% of us are women. And then this is something that that I'm quite used to. Again, you just normalize it. You normalize it until it's very loud, but not because somebody tells you, oh, you're the only woman. No. It's because you start realizing that how you mute part of yourselves.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. How do you have to adapt? And then just bit by bit, slowly, you start losing yourself. You start losing who you are because you're talking less. You're bringing less and less your colors, your rhythm, and that you're becoming quiet. I'm not quiet. I mean, I am very loud. Hello, buenos dias, everybody. And then when you walk into this room and then you start, I start minimizing myself. That is when I realize, whoa, this is something, we need more diversity for sure.
I was touched by your article. Natalia, she wrote a letter, open letter to my male colleague. And I want to read this paragraph. Sorry, guys, for my English. And she wrote this. There are things that you, my male colleague, can do to help, but not without awareness. Once you are aware of the different feminine qualities we can bring to the engineer workplaces, you could actually embrace the traits that we women minimize at work, like kindness, compassion, and empathy, because those are the things that remind us that, well, we are all human after all. This open letter is incredible. I love it. What could you like to have more from your male colleagues? What is a call if your male colleagues are listening to you today? What is something that you want to transmit in this open letter that I'm going to share with everybody who is listening to the podcast?
Yeah, that open letter to my male colleague. I remember when I wrote it, I poured my heart and then I allow myself to be vulnerable, which is in many occasions really hard because you don't want to overshare and you're insecure about what this concept of vulnerability is, right? But when I wrote the open letter to my male colleague, it was a way to give voice, really, to all the invisible things that we carry. And I don't want to say only as a woman, but I'm talking about the minority. I'm talking about neurodiverse people. I'm talking about our LGBTQ community as well. So, and I just wanted to make it visible. I wanted people to know what is it, in this case, for me as a woman to work in male-dominated environments. Because I have this belief that once you're seeing something, once you are aware of something, you can then understand it. And once you understand it, then you can change it. And that was my the inspiration. That's why I wrote it. And I didn't want to kind of criticize my male colleague whatsoever. I think it was more to bring into their attention our feminine qualities and how we can support each other, how we can work together. In general, my male colleagues has been incredible. They have been very open and they have been very receptive. Not only with the letter, but in general, when you have an open conversation with them, and they say, "Wow, Natalia, I just didn't know what you guys go through." When I mean what we go through, is our experience at actually working, our experience actually attending to meetings, our experience when we have, the duties that we have to perform outside work. If you are a mom or a caregiver, or, and the way you can or you cannot socialize, for example, our menstrual periods as well, our menopause, what we're going through as well. So it's just bringing that awareness to say, I am different and you're different, and different is beautiful. So we can work together. I am done of being that person that you want me to be, that assertive. How many times I have heard in PDRs and appraisal, Natalia, you have to be more assertive. Trust me, Amazonia, I am very assertive. Ask my kids. I'm a Latina, you know what I mean? I am very assertive, but it's not the assertiveness that you want me to perform at work. Because I use a thermometer, this intuition that tells me this is not... Yeah.
You can explain the intuition to a male. It's like, I know, I was talking with a friend. I said, I trust my intuition to tell me with who I could open myself or not. It's my intuition. It's like a brújula, how would you say?
A compass.
Yeah, a compass that guide me for many, many things. And it's so real.
Yeah. And that this is one little example. You see, when we go to, when we get some training courses for us women, leadership courses for women, and then you're very excited because you want to become a leader, and then that you just are very diligent attending to these courses and and when you see the courses, what they are trying to teach is to become a male version, really. I have for a long time in my, when I was working from home, I had my a board next to me, and then I had a little paper, ways to be assertive. And then I have a list of things that I have to do to remember to be assertive, until I say, this is not serving me. Because you are pushing away the Natalia that wants to come out, the Natalia from my childhood, that inner child that is just so passionate when she talks to you, So I can be assertive, but I can be assertive my way. Thank you very much.
This makes me to, when I was in Sweden and this year in a conference in Stockholm, I listened to a really, really interesting talk and about how they are bringing in libraries, teaching children teaching them about engineer to promote that for women. And this is a woman who decided to do this project. So I would like to ask you, how could workplaces bring more women? What have you noticed and what do you think is missing? Because there are many women dreaming to become an engineer. Yeah. What do you think is missing?
I think it's just, for me, it's not just about bringing women. I don't want to categorize, women out there.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's not about bringing more women into meeting. It's more about creating spaces, creating the space where people from all backgrounds, all backgrounds feel seen, genuinely seen, and invited to the table to contribute. Okay? We talk about diversity and inclusion and all that. And it's about, we are a very diverse company. We are a very inclusive person, you people, Of course, everybody can come and sit down in our meeting rooms. But it's not only you. It's not about you inviting me into the meeting room and sit down where the chair doesn't fit for me. What do I mean the chair doesn't fit for me? Well, that create an environment where I have to leave part of me outside the meeting room and bring the safe part of me to the meeting room and bring the professional side of me in the meeting room. That is real inclusion. When you allow that individual to come as it is and express themselves with all the rhythm and colors, because that is how really changes happen and how organizations move forward and have better creativity, for example. So if you are a person of influence or a leader or anybody really in these meeting rooms, you can make a huge difference, not by being perfect, but being intentional, okay? Your goal shouldn't be, oh, I am going to make, I'm going to have this perfect meeting. No, you have to have the intention of allowing everybody to speak. I said, no, sorry, I'm going to go through one by one to hear everybody what they have to say. Spotlight people's work, especially those people that feel shy to advocate for themselves. How many people are out there that are doing incredible work and they are not being seen?
Like, are you talking about creating psychological safetyness for people? This is really, really, really important when to create those spaces where people could express and where you can be yourself. What are you talking is so, so, so important. Because when someone is not talking in a meeting room, why this person is not talking is because this person could have incredible ideas or so much to give, but what don't make that person to talk?
Many times it's because there is one dominant in the room, one or two dominants in the room with very fancy words and word talking with abbreviations and let's do the PQR5 into the XW2, and then of course you feel quite intimidated. You're just saying like these people are really clever. I can't really compare myself with them. But the question is not comparing yourself with them. You have something unique and beautiful and important, and I want to hear it. Because my team, if I am the leader, will be awesome if I can hear for absolutely everybody. And that is the, I guess, one of the humbling work of a leader. How can you bring these capabilities for people that are not being seen? But I don't only want to give the responsibility to leaders, okay? Mm-hmm. Because people, like you, like me, absolutely everybody, we can ally for each other. We can be ally and a sponsor for each other. How many times I have seen, when I'm talking in a meeting and then I just say, whoa, sorry, this work that I am presenting is not mine at all. I mean, I added this, but the nitty gritty of this work has been done by James or has been done by so-and-so. I mean, this is amazing what you've done in here. Thank you. So absolutely allow them just to pave. And I'm not talking about holding hand to them because they say, oh, I'm not going to be a leader that holds hand. It's no question about holding hand to that individual. It's about recognition, recognizing that individual.
That is really, really, really important. I could speak about this forever, and I think something that we are here in England, and this is a very international place. And I suppose that in your workplaces you have different nationalities. And something that we have to understand as well, like people who are immigrants, they explore so many things, traumas, situations that make them who they are right now. And so I think it's part of the workplaces, like if that person cannot speak, maybe find a way of one-on-one session, or maybe have the possibility of writing, that giving options to people is really, really important in my point of view. Something as well, I think you say something that touched me a lot is seeing people. I think this is when that people start to see your hard work and mention about, you started to create this confidence on you, and you are, oh, okay. Now I can talk more, I can express more, and confidence is a big thing. More when you have a barrier language. Even for me today, even that, yes, I could understand English, I can speak English, but I have so many insecurities about my English. But I say,
Let's not go there.
but
Because
you
my
know,
me too.
like, so I don't know if you want to mention something about different methodologies to help people to help them to integrate. You know,
Right. I don't know these methodologies or tips, but I can tell you my lived experience. Okay. I was very concerned about my accent, my Latina accent, because sometimes I speak with a very strong Spanish accent, you know, and then you have to, you know, and sometimes it's just, it's hard because of, you know, you just want to sound polished and British and a beautiful accent. And sometimes you should say, like, I am not going to talk in the meeting, or I'm not going to say that because I will hesitate and my English will be all over the place. I have been living in this country for 23 years, okay? And I still avoid many words because I think I'm going to say the wrong thing. Like, for example, spreadsheet. I think I'm going to say spreadsheet. So it's true. I say, oh, you know, Excel. I don't say Excel, spreadsheet, because I say, I say shit, spreadsheet, you know, or going to the beach. And I'm thinking I'm saying something different. And there are so many different words that I'm still quite like a struggle. But it's a couple of things in there. One day I started a new company, and starting a new company is kind of like starting a fresh start, you know, starting a new chapter, a fresh, you know, for me, a new chapter or a new piece of paper for me to write a new article. And then I told myself, that's it, Natalia, you're going to bring your colors. Say what? Say, yeah, you're going to go to this job and you're going to bring the whole Natalia Sanz Hernandez. What you mean? Like, well, you know, no more of it. This is my clothes for work, and this is my. No, I'm not gonna use this necklace for work because it's not too professional, or I'm not gonna talk like this because no. You are going to be yourself, and in that company, I think it was the company that gave me more opportunities for me to grow because they loved what they saw. I arrived every morning to say, buenos dias, everybody. How is everybody? Oh, I brought biscuits, guys. How is, you know, and if they listen to me, if they are listening to this podcast, they will say, yeah, that's Natalia. And that you don't need to stay there for like a 10, 15, it's only like a couple of minutes. And that already brought that atmosphere that, hey, I'm human. I'm just coming to work, but I'm spending 8 hours or sometimes even more in here. Let me be me. Let me bring my clothes. Let me just bring my insecurities even. When I didn't have a word that when I was talking in English, of course, and then I say, oh gosh, I forgot this word I know in Spanish. In Spanish, it's blah, blah, blah. How can I say that word? And people are patient because you open up and say like, do you mean this and this? That's exactly what I meant. Oh my God, I'm wanting to write it down. You know, people are patient and people open up with you. When you have the courage, to finally come as you are, it's inspiring. Because people see you and say like, if she does it, I can do it too. Why can I not bring myself?
You are giving permission.
I am giving permission for people to do it. I have worked with so many engineers from Asia, from China and far Asia, and the culture is different. They bring their culture that is that is more professional, is more hierarchical, and also the limitation of English as well. Like me, like us, English is not our first language. For them to have a one-to-one with me to say like, wow, Natalia, I didn't know that I could bring myself to work. And I said, of course you do, darling. Be you. That is what I want to see. It's amazing. It's amazing what you can do for so many people by you embracing you.
What switched your brain? What was something that helped you to build this confidence to bring your own self? Any therapy? What happened in your life that you say, okay, that's it. I need to put my whole self in all the places where I go.
Okay.
And be honest, please.
Okay. Honesty is my second name. It is a very interesting question because years ago, I would say 8-9 years ago, I saw a trend on social media and everywhere. Find your voice, it says. Find your own voice. And me like, yeah, that is exactly what I need. I need to find my own voice. And trust me, I had my voice in Venezuela. I was very confident. But in here in the UK, that confident woman, it was somewhere, but I don't know where it was because of English limitation, because of cultural barriers as well. And then like, finding my own voice. Where is it? Is it maybe it's in my pocket? Let me see if it's in my pocket. Let me see if it's in maybe it's I left it in my bag, in my suitcase. It's just I was just trying to find. I was desperate to find a voice. Where can I buy it? Can I just go and buy it? And yes, of course, I went through a journey of a coaching and therapy as well, because it's beautiful when you surrender yourself to a therapist or to a coach, because you saying like, I can't really figure out everything on my own, and then I need that you give me a space for me to understand what the fuck is going on with me. Excuse my French. Okay? So what I did is just I can't really tell that I did something. Yeah, I think it was more of a journey. As a journey of being aware. Awareness for me is a word that I worship almost, because when you are aware of something, then you can work with that. But the problem is that you become aware of, for example, you could have said something in that meeting. I'm talking about work. Or you could have said something to your partner or to your friend, but you didn't. Why was that? It's just, and then you just don't deal with it. And then you just, I just want to watch TV. I just want to scroll my social media. You avoid it. But the moment that you say, no, you want to find your voice, right? You want to, make workplaces better. You want to become a president of your country, right? Okay, you can't avoid it. Eventually, you really have to sweep underneath the carpet because you put a lot of stuff in there. And with courage, you just grab one by one. And it doesn't need to be like a massive. It's just like, okay, so you didn't say anything in that meeting where somebody was being interrupted because you were scared. Oh, you were scared. Why? Why were you? Practice curiosity. Ask yourself, why? Why were you scared? Because of my accent. Yeah, okay. There is a so-and-so and so in the meeting are not from the UK and have their accents. And they talk and they make mistakes. And they don't it doesn't stop them. So why is stopping you? Then the following time, the next day when you go to such meetings, you may not talk again, but that awareness is in there. You know what I mean? So the first time you became aware and then you ask yourself a question, why? What is it that I can do next time? So you went next time to the meeting, you didn't talk again. I mean, like, you see, you didn't talk again. Why? What was that? Amazonia is I assure you, if you keep doing that work, one day you're going to speak so loud and so beautifully and respectfully, because it's not talking loud, and so beautifully and respectfully that you're going to say, yeah, I found my voice. I found my voice. And it wasn't in my pocket. It was all along here, inside me. It's me who have to unlock it.
I have a mantra in my room that say my voice matter, because it has been one of my big journey right now, because finding myself of talking about, for example, the women's circle, talking about the men's circle, or talking that I am now a life coach is for me like a, I don't know, is that when you make when you change your career, there are many grief in the process, sides of you that you are living out. And I think like me, like you, one of my biggest things has been always having help and investing money in terms of therapy, coaching, and having my own women's circle that has been vital for me to even find my voice. And here you bring a beautiful reflection, is that how important as well for workplaces is to have those mentoring coaches and that help people as well to go through this process. Because I think financially a big thing that I have been finding out is like coaching or therapy, all of that is as well like a privileged thing. Not necessarily everybody have the ability to pay for it, you know? And this unlock so many things. So I think part of humanizing workplaces is bringing people who could help as well. And it's okay that leaders, they don't know how to do it. For that reasons, there are many people like you, like me, who wants to offer our service to help organizations, to help people to be who they are and become what they are, no? So really, this is a vulnerable question. Okay. And have you ever had the feeling of inferiority? Because being the minority group, you talk about, and it will be nice if we comment an example. I love examples because I think we all related to something particular that happened to you that you feel, wow, that is hurt, and I feel very minimized, and how did you deal with it? I don't know if you could bring a memory of being the minority.
Yes, I mean, wow. I can tell you that I have felt many times that feeling of inferiority. Yes. Not because I believed that I was less, okay, mind, but because the spaces where I was made me question whether I belong in there or not. So you know what I mean? I put the example of when I was in Venezuela and when I am here in the UK, when I moved to the UK. In Venezuela, I didn't have any feeling of inferiority. And then I know I was young. I was, again, 23 years ago, and I was a very confident woman, and I didn't have that. But it's just I knew the environment, and the environment allowed me. And here it's just it's a little bit different because of all the intersections and all these layers that you bring. So that's for sure. I have been feeling this way when you come into a meeting room as a woman, as a Latina. I am a very Latina. I mean, I'm very proud of it, but I'm also Spanish, you know. Someone with an accent, someone as a single mom in a world that doesn't leave space for this complexity and all these different layers. What helped me wasn't just the being confident, but just to have that clarity of who I am, and realizing that sense of realization that all these layers carry are no liability, are my strength. So you said that you like examples. I can give you so many examples. In big meetings, say, excuse me, I'm not quite sure what you're referring when you say blah, blah, blah. And I have heard my leader say, okay, let me try again then. And then you feel like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. It wasn't about him. I didn't criticize him. It was criticizing myself, which is unfair. Which is unfair. Because later on, after the meeting, in that meeting that I asked, excuse me, I'm just not quite sure what you said in there. Can you please explain it? And he said, oh, but with that side of So after the meeting, 2 guys came to say, oh, sorry about that, Nati or Natalia. I mean, but that was a good question because I didn't know either. But the thing is that they didn't have the gut to advocate for me and say like, yeah, actually, I don't know either. I don't know that either. But they left me alone in that moment. And that happens, Amazonia, so many times and so many of us. And then I have this frustration in my chest because it happens to us women. It happens to neurodiverse people. It happens to even my white male colleague who doesn't fit a particular mold that you want us to perform in that meeting. So have I felt inferior, that sense of inferiority many, many times. But then I have to remind myself, it's not about you, darling. It's not about you, Natty. It's just you building, you learning. You're learning every day. So come on, chin up. You're enough. You are amazing. You're rocking it.
Wow, that is, and I think something as well, like it's very hard when you are in those environments, like the work environment. Someone told me once that, oh, I feel the pressure of the need of going to this after, drink. You got it. Yeah. It's like you don't drink alcohol, but it's like the way of socialize with your work colleague is after drinks. And it's like you feel that you are missing out. But what happens if you are a mom and you have to come back? So as well, what could be different in workplaces to design? Yeah.
Well, no, the thing is that you say you as a mom that I have to rush back at 5:30 to collect your child from the childminder or from the school. But have you thought about recovering alcoholism? People that say, oh, no, yeah, we're going out for drink. Well, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to recover from alcoholism. And I just, that person is very unlikely that person is going to say it. And it can be a woman, it can be a guy, it can be a queer, it can be whoever. So it's just thinking about different ways that we can socialize outside work and within work. In a different way. When I was, when I was leading teams, many of my team meetings, I was very privileged that one of our office was in London, Victoria, and that we had St. James's Park, like a 10-minute walk overlooking Buckingham Palace. So I said, right, guys, today our team meeting is going to be in the park. And then I just brought a picnic mat, and then we sat down in there and have our team meeting in there. So in a way, we were socializing. In a way, we grabbed our sandwich on the way. I brought some crisps and then we had our meeting in there. It's just and that you get a lot more out of there. You don't need just to go only to the pub to drink. You have to consider other ways. You have to be creative. Where's your creativity? Where is your creativity in there? Why is always a pub? I don't like a beer. How many times I have to drink a beer? I say, I don't like a beer. Or I have a wine. I just don't want to drink. I just, and I don't drink Coke either, or soft drink. So, you may say, well, you want to drink a glass of milk almost, A cacao. Do you have a cacao, please?
Yeah, it's true. It's really interesting and it's beautiful. Like the idea is to invite people to be creative, actually, in workplaces. That is amazing. So a word that has been mentioned a lot in workplaces is the word intersectionality. Even I don't know how to pronounce.
Welcome to the clan.
Why matters in workplaces? Why?
Well, intersectionality. Yeah. It took me forever to master. Have I mastered the word? Yeah? Woohoo! I mean, it took me forever to say that big word. But this big fancy word is not only a big fancy word, is real life, okay? We have talked along this beautiful podcast that I am humbled to be invited about all the different layers that I bring. This is effectively the concept of intersectionality. So for me, it's not only one identity that you carry, okay? It's just all these layers. Again, as a woman, as a, somebody from Latin America, that I speak with an accent, etc., etc. And all these identities, you don't live this identity one at a time. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, today I'm going to be a Latina. No. You are a Latina and a mom and an engineer. They all come with me, especially when you embrace them, absolutely accept yourself unconditionally. So in a lot of workplaces, we are expected to flatten ourselves again, just to pick that version of yourself that feels safe and professional. But the truth is, I see things differently because of those layers. I connect differently because I am allowed to bring my vulnerability. And when I talk about vulnerability, for example, one of my layers, I'm not talking about spilling out all my personal life at all. It's more of a, being real how you feel in that particular moment, and express it as much as you could, really, in a safe environment, of course. Why? That's why, you asked the question of why intersectionality matters. And it's not, for me, this tick box that all companies would like to have, but because when we make spaces for people to show up fully as they are, everything changes, really. Not just for them, not just for the work, but for all of us. So I'm not just one thing. And you, Amazonia, you are not only one thing. And most people are not one thing. So we have to stop pretending that we have to be only one thing and start to breathe, that is a bit, to embrace all these different layers and intersectionalities.
This podcast is giving me permission. I feel so touched because I was confessing to my landlord that I say, I have lack of confidence right now in my own process. And through this podcast, you are giving me permission to bring my whole self.
And you too.
That is also like remind me, like, yes, Amazonia, you can do this. Like and through the new processes that I am going to. So thanks so much, and I hope so that this bring reflections to many people that who are listening to us to have as well, to look people with curiosity, and even to discover ourselves constantly. I think this is beautiful. Like, oh, I have been fit myself into this schedule, but what could I discover about myself, and what new practice I can do that can show me and connect with confidence, Beautiful. Thanks, Natalia. It's so empowering, this conversation.
If I could give one tip that perhaps helped me, is this. Try letting a little bit more of the real you out. I know it's hard. I know you do it with your safe environment, with your friends or your family, but only a little bit and try in small ways, in really tiny small ways. I give you the example of clothing, for example. Many of my friends say like, oh no, this is work clothing and this is my normal clothing. Let's be wild. How about this one day you try and bring something professional, but from your normal wardrobe? That is a way, tiny little way that you can start blending and amalgamizing that individuality that is crying for you to come out, for that inner voice that is within you. Say the things that you actually think. I know sometimes it's very difficult because everything's in our mind, but we don't know how to process it. Sit down, go for a walk, don't listen to music, don't listen to a podcast, and say, how can I say this better? How can I express myself next time that I have a similar situation? How can I just do it in a powerful but respectful way? And I like just to say it again, in a powerful but respectful way as well. Use your natural voice. Use your accent. Love it. Love your accent. Love this rhythm that you bring in your accent. Share a story. Tell me a story. Oh, let me tell you that, oh my God, and then I say this and I did that. And people get drawn into that. It's like, oh wow, tell me more. Tell us a story.
Thank you so much about this and bring your whole self at the end. Natalia, but I want to talk about Humanizing Workplace, your project. What is about? People is listening to us, and maybe you have a potential customer who is listening to you today. What do you want to bring into workplaces and why? Because now you are full commit to humanizing workplaces. What is this that you are doing and working at the moment?
Well, humanizing our workplaces is a beautiful idea that I am still forming. I have to be honest with you. But it's the idea that for us to perform well at work, for us to meet our targets, for us to deliver these fantastic mega projects, engineering mega projects, or for us to work in the healthcare system or in any industry, we all expect it to be 100%. We all expect it to be performing 100%, being productive, and that's really, really great because you as an individual would like to do a good job. I have never met anybody who doesn't want to do a good job. Do you know what I mean? I've never met anybody to say, I'm going to go and I want to do a shit work today. No, you go there because you want to be part of something bigger than yourself. You want to be part of something awesome. So the motivation and the performance is what you want. But if you push aside the foundation, what it makes the performance thrive, you're not going to achieve it. And that foundation is actually humanity. It's actually us, people. We work in organization where we feel burnt out, we feel or bored many times because we don't have a task that make us display what we are capable. Many of us feel unseen. Many of us feel disconnected, and I am creating a system, really, a systemic approach to fuse these two elements, humanity and performance. And I am doing with three different pillars, I would like to say. The first pillar is about the mindset that we bring. I like just to bring accountability to the individual. It's not all about the company. It's about how you show up every day at work. Not only leaders, but absolutely everybody. What is the mindset that you bring at work? That is the pillar in there, and there is a number of principles, behaviors, and micro actions that you can put in practice. Then the second pillar is all about the way we connect. How you listen to others, how you connect, how you collaborate with others, how you hold the space for others as well, how you create this, as we were talking, that's a psychological space for others. And the third pillar is the culture that we shape. Yeah, it's how can we make all this habit and all these rituals sustainable for both performance and humanity to thrive together? How can we ensure that everybody in the meeting feels it belongs? Not because you invite them to the table, but because the chair feels comfortable enough for me. When I say the chair, the environment feels comfortable for me to express who I am. And I am here, and then I can tell you, this is my opinion, and I want my opinion to count. So these three pillars is a very, I'm using again here my engineering brain, almost my engineering mindset, but also my human heart, but also the clarity again of as a strategist, and bring them all together. The mindset that we bring, the way we connect, and the culture that we shape. That is humanizing our workplaces. And I know it's going to be super awesome, because I would like to build a community of humanizers. People like you, people like me, people that understand that humanity is not a nice to have. Human skills is not like, oh, that's nice to have. No, it's a core infrastructure of how we should work. It's a business strategy to how we should perform all our activities. And then I cannot wait to show to the world what humanizing our workplaces is have to offer.
That is amazing. I'm gonna show to everybody your website, the way how people can contact you on the different social media, and I will follow up your project. And it touched me a lot, because at the end, me as a facilitator of women's circle in general, one of my things is how I can make people feel belong in each circle. It doesn't matter the age, it doesn't matter the culture, and I have different people from different culture, and this is one of the most important thing that I do in each circle. We don't present ourselves from our background. We don't mention who we are, where we are come from, what we work. No, it's like we come as we are, humans. That's it. And because I try to avoid bias, So there is a question that I don't want to avoid, and I would like to be a mom one day. I love to learn so much from moms, and as a mom of 2 boys, wow, well, before of the podcast, she received a WhatsApp from one of her boys that say, "Oh, you're making me to cry." She right now is like getting emotional, and the boy say to her, "You got this, mom." And this was very touching. How are you raising them to see and related to women beyond the lens of patriarchy? Any anecdotes or examples that you would like to share? Because you are you're raising 2 boys, and this is brilliant. Do you want to share?
And what a boys I'm raising. I used to say that me as an engineer, I work in projects, I've been, sent to different complex projects, fascinating projects. But I always say my two projects that I've got two projects that are the most important ones, and they are raising my kids. I cannot tell you how honored I am to be the mom of these two boys. They are now 12 and 15. And yes, one of them texted me saying, "Good luck in your podcast. Don't worry, you've got this." It is a big question when you ask me about my kids. And I'll be honest, we were talking about how you talk about, say, this big questions in life and about intersectionality. And now you're talking about patriarchy. But I have to be honest, I don't talk to the boys about patriarchy, really. We don't use that. Well, we may mention, but we have real conversations, not about patriarchy, but how to be a decent human being. And that sort of conversation happens, believe it or not, daily, when we sit down for dinner, when we, take them to school or take them after school, tiny little conversations. We talk a lot about respect, emotion, fairness, commitment. We talk about curiosity, consent, collaboration, language, culture, play, love, and all the things that shape how we can relate to each other. And I try to do it not as a lecture, but as a casual conversation, really. Sometimes I lead the conversation, but sometimes they lead the conversation. They teach me as much as I teach them. We practice gratitude. We have a gratitude jar, and it takes a couple of minutes, really. We take okay, boys, let's just have, a gratitude moment, and that we write down 3 things or one thing that we're grateful today or this week, and we put it in our jar. And then we review every year our gratitude jar and what we... Really?
I used to have that, a gratitude jar. And it was amazing for me at the end to see, I say, oh my goodness, I explored this. Wow, this is a good idea to come back to it. Yeah. Oh, thanks. I will start it.
Yeah, and then it's beautiful when you do it with the boys, with the kids, because at the beginning... Oh, no, yes, absolutely. And absolutely, when somebody comes to visit me and they say, we're going to do a gratitude jar today, would you like to join us? I say, yeah. And then we write it down, and then we say a little bit, and then, out loud what we wrote. If we want to share, of course, we respect the intimacies they don't want to share in that moment, and then we put it in there. So what I'm saying is we do have a huge amount of conversation, and talking about their teenagers, so it's not that easy to drag them. Oh yeah, let's go drag gratitude jar. Sometimes they say like, "Mommy, I don't feel like it," and then you have to respect that. Say, okay, no worries, we can do it another time. But it will happen another time, because that is the sort of environment and energy that we rock, really, and we roll at home. They are becoming amazing. They're very thoughtful. They notice things as well, and they ask questions that make me pause, for me to reflect as well. And they're not afraid to share their own vulnerabilities, which is really rare as well. So I think that is the key, really. I'm not really teaching them per se of how to treat women. This is the way you treat women, you as a guy. Of course, we do talk about that. But for me, it's helping them to understand people. And about making space for them, for my two boys, to keep growing and to keep exploring, making mistakes, allowing them to make mistakes, trusting them to make mistakes. Which is really hard. Because you say, like, what do you mean trusting them and then make mistakes? Yeah, You just have to let go, which is the most difficult lesson for me, is just to let go and say like, okay, you can do it, knowing that they will make the mistake, that they will come back in pieces, and that you have to come back and say, look, come on, I'll help you to pick up your pieces. I have so many examples, much more that, work experience and all that. So they've already taught me so much. And Amazonia, from the bottom of my heart, I tell you that if this work of humanizing our workplaces is what I do in the world, and thank God, I pray that they will be, I guess home with my boys is where all really started, with this conversation with my boys.
Oh, thanks for sharing. And I hope to meet your boys. Honestly.
They speak Spanish, okay?
Yeah, they speak Spanish. Well done. I have important question to ask you. I recently, thanks to the invitation of Fabiola, that was one of the person who I invited for my podcast, she invited me to go to see Jacinda Ardern in London. And she,
September, right?
yeah, and she was mentioned about her journey, like she became prime minister and straight away she got pregnant. And she said something that was very important. She was saying, well, I was not alone. I was with a team, and my husband was my team. He was, taking care of the children and taking care of me. And I have a whole team to be able to become a leader. So how has been your journey? And here, let's open a little bit of being vulnerable. As I come from, my mom was a single mom. And I think my mom have a good team, my grandmother, my grandfather, and my auntie who were helping us. But you're an immigrant. So this is another story when you don't have family around you. How has been your journey to being a leader, to go successfully through a career, to grow 2 children at the same time? And because I want to give voice to this part of your story. And you look amazing so, as well at the same time. She's mamacita. I need to tell you, no? And how has been for you? Being an immigrant?
Yes. Right. Again, with pouring my heart in here. I think it's just when I see women like, wow, she is a leader. And she has done this, and she's 2 kids, and they're amazing, or 3 or 4, or 1 kid, and she is a single mom. I mean, like, wow, and you put that person in the pedestal, like, this is amazing. But the reality is, as we say in Spanish, I'm gonna say in Spanish, and you're gonna finish with me. Si del cielo te caen limones, aprende a hacer limonada.
Ah, ¿verdad que sí? Aprende a hacer limonada, correcto.
Exacto. So it means if in English it's pretty much the same. If life, the sky should throw you lemons, just learn how to make lemonade. You just you don't need to work it out, then and there. You just it's a journey. You just take one step at a time, one day at a time, sometimes 1 hour at a time. I'm not going to say that it hasn't been incredibly challenging. It still is incredibly challenging. To be a present mom, and also to try to give my best at work, because you want to keep that essence of your you don't want to lose that layer, right? That professional layer and that ambitious person that you are. Like, I would like just to do something meaningful in this world, but also, sorry, I have to cook, and sorry, I can't really attend that meeting because I have to take kid number 2 to tennis lessons or football, So I guess it's just and yes, again, I don't really have family. I don't have a cousin or a mom or, my sister or brothers. It's a family of 3. But what I do have is a network of friends that when I am in a situation that of a, emergency situation, I call friends and they are there quickly. Yeah. But that's in an emergency. The day-to-day is something that you have to work it out. Cooking in batches and putting it in the freezer for you to, save time when you're cooking, because I love cooking. That's another thing that you have to know about me. Absolutely love cooking. And I cook from scratch, and then, choosing my ingredients, and I love decorating my plates as well. And I do that for the boys. The boys feel like, oh, wow, I mean, we're very privileged, really. So I guess what I'm just trying to say that I'm not trying to make it pretty, something that is really hard. And you just have to, my humble tip would be, something have to give in. You cannot be perfection. You cannot be the perfect mom and the perfect cook and the perfect work, leader or perfect engineer or perfect coach. Something have to give in. And sometimes what you give in is just, I'm not going to cook tonight. I'm just going to buy some pizzas. And and for me, is I don't like buying pizza because it's more of I like cooking. I like cooking is, healthy food for the boys, but I am exhausted. Or today, I'm sorry, boys, I don't have time for this chitty chatty with you. I just need my time on my own. I'm going to go to my room. I don't have any, Mommy, can we? No, Mommy, can we not? I want to be on my own today, for 5 hours watching TV or reading, please, And then you just, you learn to be a bit more organized, learn to test what is important in that moment, what is not. But there is something that I haven't mastered yet, is that time for myself. No. But it's a habit, you see? It's not because that I can, carve time for myself. We all can. It's just to create that habit. Is that, you know what? No, you know what? I have an hour. I'm going to have a bath, which I don't like having a bath, because having a bath is kind of like a relaxing when I should be batch cooking for the week, for example. So I put my priorities. They're like, what are you talking about? No, I mean, I'm not going to make myself a bath because I need to cook or I need to iron, or I'm going to read, for example. I love reading, but say, instead of reading something from, I don't know, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, which I absolutely love, or Julia Navarro, that really helped me to disconnect, I choose to read organizational behavior sort of books instead. Or instead of listening to salsa and, a Latino or Spanish music, I choose to listen to a podcast. It's
to get out of this circle of doing, performance, and is play. It's like connecting with play. How do we play more?
I've enrolled in dance lessons, okay? And it has been incredibly hard for me because it's carving time to go to the lesson, but also practicing, because at the end they do this show. This is not like a little show, like, a little show. No. It's a show for 2 days, and the, rehearsals and dress rehearsal and light rehearsal. And when I joined this classes, I thought, you know what? It's going to be very easy for me because I'm a Latina. You know what I mean? I know how to dance. I know how to move I know how to. But when I joined, I didn't join dance, salsa lessons or any Latin music. I dance street dance, which is no movement in your hips. I mean, you don't. My teacher say like, yeah, you brilliant, but you just move your hips too much. I mean, like, I won't blame my Latina self, And another one that I joined was a lyrical dance, which is it's almost like a contemporary ballet. And I have never in my life, but it's beautiful because although it's really hard, I love it because I disconnect deeply from my day. I also use my brain in a different way, and I also just see my tribe that I build, and it's a tribe, it's a community of girls and guys that for 1 hour we love, we hug, we say hello everybody, and that it's something that I'm keeping for sure.
That is nice. And this last question, please. I want to speak with you forever and ever. What is something that you are looking forward to discover about yourself?
Ooh. That's deep. Yeah. To discover about myself. In this new life season where I would like to discover more of let loose. I am very committed person. I'm quite perfectionist. I work incredibly hard. I set rituals from 6 a.m. in the morning when I wake up. I mean, rituals that help me to mindset rituals that help me to set up the rest of the day, for instance, and then prepare breakfast and then do this and then do that. So my life is quite compartmentalized, and sometimes I just wish that there is a little bit more room to let out and to say, you know what? No, I'm just not going to do the ritual today. I'm not going to do this today. And this is something that I'm learning. I guess it's because of the fact that I am a single mom and that doing all these wonderful things that I would like to do don't allow it yet. But I'm practicing the art of being imperfectionist sort of thing.
Oh, nice. And wow, that is a big thing because usually it's very masculine energy that like you have been a lot in your masculine energy as well. And I want to try from first time this question and ask a question that I'm gonna ask to each guest from now. A wish. What is a wish that you want to share? I think, in my point of view, if we share wish, people will help you. Who knows who is listening to you and who is gonna help you or say, well, and in my culture in Venezuela, my mom said, you should not share your wishes because they are not going to happen. For me, it's opposite. I believe that we need to share our wishes.
And I feel honored to be asked for the first time. I'm your first guest, and then this is not a kind of like a. You need to prepare people next time because it's very profound. However, I don't have all the answers, okay? But one of my most profound wish that I still keep since I was small is the wish to help people, okay? And I know many of us have that that passion within us. I always pray to God or the universe or whoever is out there, help me to help. And I still do that. Help me to help. I would like one of my wishes is to help people to show up at work or at life with kindness, with courage, and with more clarity. To let them know that they belong, that they matter. This is how we really create workplaces, but also societies where people don't only feel better, but they can do a better job again for work and for society. And that's the kind of workplaces that I would like to help build. And I'm hoping that this platform of humanizing our workplaces would be the journey to help me to realize my wish.
Thanks for this conversation. Thanks for this space. Just to let you know, everybody, that we are now going to record in Spanish. But first, we are going to go to the market, Cambridge Market, yes, to have Venezuelan food. Woohoo! Yes, una arepita. I am feel so grateful of this time with you. And I feel that each podcast gives me so much wisdom. And each story is so incredible. And I hope so this inspires people in general, even that my podcast is like the 80% who listen to the podcast are women. And I hope so that as well inspire women who want to be leaders, who want to be moms, who want to have an incredible relationship, love relationship, and all in one is possible. Yeah. It's possible. So I don't know if you want to say something before we leave, and please share the podcast, share our work. We are very passionate people, and I see your passions, and I hope that your dreams is gonna become true. It's not I hope so. I am sure that it's gonna become true. So if there is anything else that you want to share, feel free to use the microphone.
Well, no, it's just I am incredibly grateful. You have no idea how grateful I am for this opportunity to talking to you, to allow me this space. Yet again, life is giving me the space for me being me. I mean, I don't take this for granted. Thank you. You are incredibly talented. I have a deep admiration for the work that you do. And it's just this down to us, people, but also women, of course, because women have that special bond that understand each other a bit more, to hold each other, to empower each other. And then I know the work that you're doing with your women's circle in these podcasts and all this coaching and all these different things that you do. I don't know how you do it, women. Is yet another opportunity to empower women like me to go out there in the world and do the best they can. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, and I take it. I am learning to take it, things. And so thanks so much, everybody. And remember that this podcast is sponsored by Amazonic Cacao, that we were having a cacao during the whole podcast. You can buy the cacao on my website as well. Now it's available in my website. So thanks so much, and see you in the next podcast. Bye-bye. Bye.